Welcome back to Live for Love TV, 26th of March 2021. Back here with you. Hope everyone is doing fine out there. Today we're going to be talking about mental illness and how it affects people, how it affects our community in particular, and how it affects larger public at large. So let's talk about mental illness. What do I know about it? Well, the sum total of my knowledge, especially when I was growing up in the 1970s, was without any disrespect, people would literally go like that and mean they're off their head, which was amazing that that's all people used to do back in the day. It was so badly treated and dealt with in the local communities, in any community. It was just disgusting the way people dealt with mental illness, as if mental illness was any worse than having heart, liver, or lung illnesses. People don't put themselves in the illness very often. Yes, they may have some contributing factor, but people don't really want to be ill. So it's very disrespectful to talk about people like that, especially when they're mentally ill or emotionally ill. So where do we go? We look at our families and friends and people around us and wider community, and we see, even during this period where we're in a lockdown around the world, we see that people during the lockdown are becoming mentally distressed. And I'm sure when we come out of the lockdown, we're going to see more and more and more people, especially our young people, mentally distressed. The biggest killer in the UK for men under 40 years old is suicide, which is obviously the end process for mental distress, the wrong end of the process. Instead of coming out of it and becoming stronger, some of our young people have decided that they've had enough. Now, if you have any mental illnesses or any mental distress or any depression, this is not medical advice. You should go to your practitioner or whoever you need to go to talk and deal with your mental illness. This is just opinions and views of Live for Love TV, and it can't be taken as medical advice. We have to accept that there are many triggers to why people get ill mentally and emotionally. Some are relationship breakdowns, some are breakdowns in general, nervous breakdowns. There's so many different things that can lead to mental distress. But from my understanding of what I've seen, all distress, all emotional distress is born out of some form of fear. And that fear it becomes so severe that it leads to the mental distress. Because we all suffer from fear at times. We all have fear in our life. It doesn't really matter who you are. You go through periods of fear and down periods, but normally they don't last too long. And we recognize them to be temporary. And we go in and we come out, we go in and we come out, and that's the normal life process. But what happens with people who go into mental illness is as if they don't come out of that fear process. They replay that fear round and round again. They replay the trauma that the fear came from or led to, and it goes round and round and they never come out of that loop, and it leads them into a spiral, a distressing spiral, especially on family and friends. So we need to be, those of us who don't believe we're going through it ourselves, but we observe people going through it, we need to be mindful of that. We need to be respectful of that. We need to be able to listen. We need to be able to look at our friends and family and say that we understand what they're going through, and we need to just hear them out. Let's hear what they got to say, because a lot of the time people need to speak before they get into mental distress, and they don't. And very often when they do get into mental distress, they start speaking more than they ever did, round and round and round. And quite often, sometimes it sounds like gobbledygook. It doesn't sound like something that makes any sense to you or me. But we all need to do is to be quiet, be still, and listen. Let them talk. Sometimes they may even accuse you of causing their problem. And you don't need to be defensive. You don't need to go on the attack against them. Just listen, because eventually, with love and care and respect for our brothers and sisters, eventually they will come out the other side. And when they do come out the other side, they'll look back and realize it was a period of learning. Hopefully, it will be a period they never need to go through again. And with our love that we have, and we had that love, and we don't have to look at anybody as if they've brought it on themselves, because people don't know what their triggers are. They don't know what their triggers are. And many people are suffering, but they suffer in silence. And some suffer under delusion by taking certain substances and believing that those substances are actually helping them to get over. But sometimes those are the substances that are helping to make them go deeper and deeper into distress. So we don't want to go on too long about this. This is a very touchy subject for most people. Remember, we've had taboo subjects like death, sex, and money. This is another taboo subject. It's just down from the taboo subjects. It's not on the level of some of the others. People do speak about it, but it's not spoken about enough. It seems to be on the increase, and we need to try our best to help our brothers and sisters and family members and whoever, just help them out, be there for them, and show some love. So that's Live for Love TV.